Welcome back. So what we're doing is we're making sure that our messages are routing correctly. For some reason, things were not coming in the right order. Um, so because of that, I'm worried that these things are the problem. So let me run this again, and then also I'm going to open up my source tree. I don't care about this one anymore. This looks better. This is being loaded. Okay, if I look at this client and I log it, looks like I changed the name of some stuff here, but nothing that should break it. And this, I removed the exceptions and the errors. This one I added some stuff. Okay, so if I was to run a message here in Discord, I should see it fired here. Should be a pretty large message. Here we go, I got my message received. Here's the second half of it. That's interesting. The packet's still coming in as null here. Which is coming in from this one. That looks fine. When you receive, if I look at this thing where we do the begin send, we're sending, we do the begin send here. After I get my connect call back, I should do my receive done wait one. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look here at the C#. We want async server client code. And I want it to be recursive. async. I also want recursive client server. I know what I'm looking for. I want a C# asynchronous TCP client. I think it's this. So, okay, we have the state object and the buffer size, which in our case is it's low, right? That's what's causing this problem. Here's a manual reset that I don't think I'm calling. So let's compare these two. The first one is your start. We create this socket, we run begin connect, and then we wait one. Okay, we have connect callback here, which is a socket. We have end connect, signal that it's been done here. Second. Okay. That's what the connect done waits for up here. That allows this to proceed to go to receive one and receive. Let me move this up like that. Right? And then on receive callback, you're getting your state and your work socket, and then your bytes read. And then we're getting my encoded string here from my state.buffer and the number of bytes read, and we're appending it. Okay, so this is a little different. So what it's saying is I do a client begin receive right now. Just this. And then if we don't have any more data, then we're going to do if my state.sb.length is greater than 1, so if there is data in the SB, then we're going to do a receive done.set. Okay, that signals that all bytes have been received. So then I want to do this receive and receive one. Like that. And that's it. Okay, we want this event. And this wants to be my state.sb.toString. And then I want to do my state.sb.clear. And we're firing that message. That looks okay. Let's try that. The other thing that I changed was on the send for the server. I don't want this one, I want this one. Let's try it again. Hey, on Onus the Ponus, it's been a little bit. How have you been? I've been great. How are you doing, man? It's good to be back streaming. I had to take a little break as well there. Okay, this should be good to go. It's all connecting. We're looking at my received data. It's going to continue to receive it. I should look at this here. And then we'll do a test here in Discord, which catches in my error that I need to fix. We look at my broadcast all users. My bytes read is 124, so we look at my received. We append it. Okay, so it's getting better. It didn't quite work. So we want somewhere in the middle between this. We like this. This didn't work. We want it to say, if my state so let's first receive it. I see. Okay, we don't want that. So we first receive it, and then here I want to, now that I've received it, I'm actually fantastic. Got a new gig in a new state, selling the house and moving for it. That's awesome, dude. Where are you going to and from? Sometimes you just got to go somewhere else. I'm with you, man, especially when there's good opportunity, you know? So this needs to be this here. Like that. So I get my content, and then I remove it, and I fire my event. And then I do my receive. That should work now. Well, due to internet going from my state to a new state, working as a cloud systems engineer. That's awesome, dude. Congrats. Okay, let's test it again. We've received, you're now connected to allie.chat. I don't need to see this. If I look at my message event args, this should probably have my socket at that layer. That's okay. Let's try it again. Okay, that's good. It's received here. We're looking at my message. That looks good. We're going to broadcast it. That's fine. I don't care. Okay, so here's my message. And we've received the whole message correctly. Now when I look at my packet, so packet's not being passed in, but my message is. So let's drop down a couple of layers. If we go to the client auth, this has packets here. So everything is running with packets. That's fine. Okay, this one is args, so that doesn't matter. And one layer down, where this is created, when I get my here, I'm going to do a try and a catch. And we'll move this up into here, this args. Okay, and then we're going to go that my args.packet is equal to JSON convert.deserialize object as a packet DTO. As my content. And if that fails, then we're going to say args.packet is equal to a new packet, and we're going to say the action is an integer of my action type dot send to server. My data here is the content. And the timestamp is date time.utc now. That should work. Okay? And now, if I trace this for all of my references where I'm creating it, this one here, we want this to have a so I wonder, can this have a public, or can it have a constructor? Not sure. No. So it can't have initialized values or a constructor in this. Which means that this needs to have this one, and that's it. So we got one there, we got one here. Can't you do like message.timestamp? We'll just do that. Okay. Same thing there. That one's fine. You just want the ones that say new. That's okay. I don't care about this stuff. Oh wait, yes I do. Like that. If you have time, could you explain the use of this? I've read some docs and I'm still confused on when to use it and when not to use it. You use this if you have scoping problems. So like if I have a class variable, one that's like up here at the top that's available to anywhere in the class called client. And then later on I have one down here called client. That could cause a problem, right? So I could do like var client equals client. And what this is going to do is it's going to say, no, this isn't going to work, right? And the reason why is because of the scoping. So if I add this, it should kick me back one layer. But that's essentially, it won't work in a static, but that's essentially one of the ways that that matters. That works a lot in like TypeScript when you have to like call back to your services. Okay, this one's fine. I need to add the timestamp here. Same thing here. It's in this one. This should be send to server. Like timestamp equals date time dot UTC now. Let me just start over now since we can just make sure that we're good. That one's fine. That one's fine. That one's fine. That's good. That's good. That one's good. That one's good. This is the last one here. Like that. Okay. So now that in my lowest level, I'm returning this packet when I fire my events here. When you need to not change scope. Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty much exactly it. For some reason, I think that C# and TypeScript are opposite with their implementation, but I'm probably wrong with that. I just can't remember correctly right now. Okay, so here I got my args. You're connected. I look at this, and I have a timestamp. This time when I look at my data, that looks fine. I look at this, that looks fine. That's fine, it should break. Okay, we'll get another message. Okay, try that again. We're gonna broadcast this one across the pipe. Okay, here's my args. I've got my message. It looks good. You've got my packet with this data in it. That looks good. I've got my data here. I'm going to try to deserialize this now into a message base, and it worked. So I've received my information here regarding this. It looks good. Okay. Life is finally moving along here with this. So the next thing is that now that I've received the message and I'm deserializing it into the correct type, I want to do a switch on my deserialize.provider type. Pardon me. And now what I want to do is I want to fire an event on this. Cool. Yeah, I want to do a fire message event. Now this isn't right. Well, what you want is you want to say var Twitch message equals JSON convert dot deserialize object to my type message Twitch of my deserialize. And it's of ePacket.data. Okay, this one is message Discord. This one is message TCP. And this one is message WebSocket. Okay, and now I should do a fire. So instead of doing this from my TCP asynchronous auth base, I'm going to take that away. And instead, I need to define a whole bunch of events for this thing, right? Or can I use existing ones? If I look at my service routing here, I think this has far too many inputs for me to reuse this. Because I'm going to need something that reads my different types and passes that as an event. So in here, I want this to have a event that's a type. So we'll make a new type over here called a public delegate task called TCP client I want this to be a message event handler. I'm just say this is a message event handler. And in this, it's going to pass an object, which is a sender, and then a T, which will be a type of iMessage. So up here, I can have my private event called message event handler of a iMessage base. Second, I should do this as a iMessage base here. And then we're going to say that this is a message event. Okay. And then we need to have down here a a protected virtual void fire message event, which is an object sender and a iMessage called message. And all we're going to do is a message event. If it is there, we're going to invoke and pass this sender and this message called base. And then I need to have a public event called message event handler called message event. And we're going to add my message event and we'll remove it as well. Okay, on my dispose here, this can be iDisposable. And then here we want to do a client.stop. Like that. If I look at this implementation, this should be on this auth called dispose, which is here. Yeah, it works. This will work. Okay. So now here we could do a fire message event. And up here, I could put this below, and we could just do a iMessage called message. And we'll trade these out. And then we can say if message does not equal to null, then we're going to do a fire message event, which will be a this and my message. Which now means that on my web API, finally, when I look at my, where's my service for that? This. When I get a message here and I fire it, I need to have a message event handler in this web API, right? So that I can inject so we'll do that here. I'm going to create a new service. And I'm going to call this we're going to say that this thing is called a web API TCP web API message messages. And I'll call this a service. Call this service TCP web API messages. So then up here, I'm going to create a new service which is called a TCP message handler. I'm going to say that this is called a service TCP message. Like that. And so on this, I need to have this thing available to inject. I do. Service TCP API message. No, that's this one. And then we need to have the next one, which is a service. We're going to say my var. You have that one, which we're going to inject here. Like that, and we'll add it up here as a service TCP messages. Okay. And then I also want to inject my hub context, which I can just take from here. I'm going to call that my web hub. And then all I want to do here is I want to have my service TCP messages dot message event is equal to run. Is plus equals to my on message event. Okay, at this point, I'm going to go that I need to have my service TCP messages equals a new service TCP messages. And I want to pass in here my services called hub context allie.chat web hub called instead of doing it this way, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this service. And I'm going to rename this service TCP messages. Service TCP messages. And then instead, I'm going to inject this into my hub. And that's going to be here. As a service TCP messages called service TCP messages. Okay, that looks good. And then what I want to do is a web hub dot groups of my, hey there Witchin, how are you doing? Welcome to the channel. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to pop them into the chat. I want to send this to my group called args.streamsource.id. We want to do a send asynchronous. And I want to send my, it's called allie.chat message received. And I'm going to pass in my args. And we want to await that and make this a toString. Hey there, Noliyuki. How are you doing? Welcome. That should do it. Now, that's one of the benefits of what I'm working with. Well, actually, no, because everything's in TypeScript, so I still might need to type it out. Never mind, take that back. We'll see. Okay. I don't need to see this anymore. And so now, when I receive a message here, we'll fix that in a little bit. We'll broadcast this. I didn't see it get picked up. Hold on. Service TCP messages, yeah. So on my message received, that's fine. Okay, I've received it. That looks good. I get the Discord message. I'm going to fire my message event. That should be a singleton. Should be a singleton. Oh, it's because I never connected to the web hub. So let me connect to the web hub. See? There it is. And now when I get my test, there it is. Should have fired my message event. Message event is null on service TCP messages. Okay, so over on my hub, I want to say if my service TCP messages is equal to null, then we're going to do this, which is my service TCP messages is equal to service TCP messages, and then we also want to add in my event. Now this needs to be private and static, and now it should be working. Oop, didn't start, try it again. We'll log in. That subscribes to the hub once we get one connection. Now when I throw my message here, we catch it there. We'll fix that next. We fire my message event, and there it is. And we can send it out to my client. Okay. Over on the front side, I'm going to open up here my, let's see, it's underneath my core called services called Web Hub. And I want to have a new type received here called a iMessage. Do I have that in my interfaces? It's called models now. They're all separated. So the one I want is in core models, right? So if I look in the project for iMessage, it's not going to find anything. So we'll do interface here for iMessage, which extends my iBase interface. And let's take a look at what's in this. So if I look at my library here for iMessage, it's going to have on it a string, something called message, which is a string, a provider type, which will be a number, it'll be a server source, which is a iServer, it'll be a stream source, which will be an iStream, and it'll be a user source, which is a user. It doesn't extend anything. So now in this, we're going to do a new subscription, a new subject here called a message received. And I want to send this to the one that is a new subject of my iMessage. So now we need to have this here, which is a above the authorizations. We can do it right here. And we're going to say that this is called a allie.chat received message. What did you call it? This. And this is going to pass in a message called an iMessage, and it's going to be a message received which we called message received. Okay. There is no request message, but there is a get message received, which is a iMessage, and it's a message received. Hey there, Psychotronic, welcome back. How are you doing today? Okay. Now, before I subscribe this, let's do this very quickly here. I'm going to go under my chat component. And on here I want to pass in my web hub, which is a web hub service. And in here I want to do a new subscription called message subscription, which is a type of subscription. And I just want to say that I have the this.message subscription is equal to this.webhub.get message received, and we're going to say subscribe here to be my message called iMessage. And then all I want to do is a console.log message. And I need to do a on destroy. So I have a ng on destroy so that I can unsubscribe it. Hey, prototype. Apologies, I'm working on the bot right now, so it's not up and running at this moment. Okay, so that'll subscribe my message if I'm in that. And now what I need to do is I need to have a join group. So to do that, on the hub, I need to have a new command here called public asynchronous task called join stream. And we want to pass in my GUID stream ID. And I'll do a try and a catch on this. And the first thing I want to do is well, let's go ahead and get one of these so we can get all my other good stuff in here. So we get my user. This will be a stream join. And all I'm going to do here is var stream equals await services dot read stream asynchronous of my ID and my application user.id. And then if my stream does not equal to null, then I want to do and my clients dot caller dot it's called groups dot it's called clients dot user. No, what I want to get here is using SignalR. I want to say SignalR check if in group. Check if user is in group. Says I have to do it myself. So then if I wanted to do that, could I do a clients.groups. No, can I do a groups.add to group asynchronous context.connection ID, and my group name is my id.toString. And that should do it. I need to write this here, write this to the database to maintain a persistent list of who is in the group. Let me add that as a to-do. Hey Psychotronic, I'm doing great. How are you? Did you watch the stream on Visual Studio when they used SignalR? No, I didn't. When they did stream showing pictures? No, I didn't. I did not, unfortunately. You're relaying Twitch messages to a SignalR hub? Oh, it's doing lots more stuff than that. I'm taking Discord, Twitch, TCP, and WebSocket messages, and then I'm forwarding them for one of the, because it sends them according to your stream, right? You define a stream and you define who you want to have incoming messages and who you want to have outgoing messages from. And then, so everything gets routed into there, and one of those outlets is SignalR Hub. I don't know anything about VS 2019. So in here, I'm going to do a little cheat just to test this. If I look at my WebHub service, I want to have one here called request join stream, which is an ID string. I'm going to say if this.hub connection, then I could say this.hub connection .invoke, and we can do my ID. And I want to say this is going to join stream. So just for fun, when I look at my features on streams, when I receive them, I'm going to do a streams.forEach. And I want to do this.webhub.join stream of my stream of my s.id. Let's give it a try. Three more days and it's out. That's cool. I'll pick it up. Well, I mean, I have 2000 whatever Pro, so I'll just get the upgrade. Let me restart the server. Come on, bind. What's going on here? There we go. We'll log in. I didn't want to look up what's new because it's still in beta. Yeah, I'm with you on that. When I go to streams, that should have joined my stream here. It did. Connection ID to this stream. So now, when I receive a message here, there it is. That's great. I am sick when it comes to update. When I see it, I must have it. I looked up into Windows 10 features and it came with the next big mistake to see me up. True. I don't watch the previews to movies. I just watch movies because I don't want to know what's coming. It's me. So that's looking like exactly what we wanted. So I can remove this little chunk now. That's a pretty good place to be at. So I'm actually out of time for the day. So thanks so much for staying with me today. I will be back at 5:30 in the morning tomorrow. If you have any questions, make sure you put them into the chat at our Discord, discord.pixelhorrorstudios.com, and I put all these videos up at youtube.pixelhorrorstudios.com. Thank you so much, guys. I will see you later. Oops, let me get this thing going here too. I will see you in the morning. So thanks so much. Have a good one, guys. Bye.